This is Channel 253.
On this episode of the Grit and Grain Podcast.
And then I have to get on top of a keg to reach it, to stand it back up.
That do that?
And then when I stand on the keg, I hit my head on the sprinkler system
I've done that.
in the cooler, which is another beef. Why is there a sprinkler system in my cooler? I hate the whole thing.
You just hate coolers.
Spontaneous beer combustion?
I guess I hate stocking.
I was going to say, yeah, you just don't like, you just hate doing inventory.
I feel hard with all the
Is what I hit
stocking
my head
I've
on.
done here too.
Channel 253 is member supported. I'm producer Doug Mackey, and I hope you will show your support by going to channel253.com/membership and join. Thank you.
Welcome to the Grit and Grain Podcast, where we explore and celebrate the craft beer industry, community, and history in Tacoma, Washington, and surrounding Pacific Northwest areas. Thank you so much for hanging out. Let's get to it. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Grit and Grain Podcast, coming to you guys from Peaks and Pints in Tacoma, Washington. Woo! Yay, everybody. My name is Matt McLaren. I'm here, as always, with Ron Swarner.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Where's the beef?
I guess you've been back. Yeah.
Where's
the
beef?
It's right here, Ron.
We brought it.
Yeah, if that wasn't clear enough, we're doing beer beef part 2. Bethany, how's it going?
Good.
Good.
Happy
We
to
didn't
be here.
we didn't get through your whole list last time.
No, we did not.
Yeah. So there's more there. Phaedra's on mic too. What's up?
Hello,
Phaedra?
I'm here.
And brought samples so we can discuss your previous beer beef.
We
Call
can.
out cans versus bottles.
Yeah.
Which actually I do want to talk about that because
Okay.
I had a beer beef / beer myth that is still really prevalent.
Well, I did qualify
All right.
with it's just more of a
Double.
preference.
Part
not
one.
Holy
necessarily
shit.
a
If
beef
this is not
per
what you
se,
expected.
So.
I know.
Please alter your expectations.
And then Doug is also on mic. How's it going, Doug?
Clear and present.
Excellent.
Just do that.
Yeah. So yeah, we're running through. Yeah. Running through beer beef part 2. The internet still had more for us. I have a couple of my own, and then Ron is back and has some of his because he was not able to do it last time because he was off brewing a rad fucking beer that I'm drinking right now, and it's delicious.
Energy cone.
Energy Cone.
Wait, what? That's what you were brewing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's on right now,
Yeah.
and it's.
But technically
I'll do
not.
that next.
Technically
Not brewing.
but that's still what got brewed. So.
It's still, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Ron's name is on it.
Yes,
so,
it is.
Yeah.
So you guys have Energy Cone, Single Hill.
It's really good.
Yeah.
What you drinking?
What are you drinking?
Number 6.
The lucky envelope. Fresh
Oh, the
Yeah.
Lorien
Orange
pills.
pills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one.
What am I
can't believe I
drinking?
remember that.
What am I drinking?
You have Four Lands ESB.
Four Lands. Yes.
Tweed.
Which
Yeah,
I'm getting
Tweed
next.
ESB.
Love
That's
it.
delicious.
It is
Love it, love it.
fantastic,
It's
man.
yummy.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Ron, what do you have?
I have Human People's High Hopes Hazy IPA.
So these guys are popping up a lot lately.
Yeah.
Can you talk about Human People a little
Yeah,
bit?
sure. They don't have a home yet. They're
Yeah.
still looking. They're brewing at Stoop. And they'll be there Friday. So if you're out...
For a little pop-up.
Yeah, they're going to be brewing their fresh hop
Oh, cool.
at Stoop. So swing by because you can watch them from your seat, pretty much.
Cool.
And then that same day, they're going to head over to Here Today, kind of over by just past Holy Mountain towards the city.
Yeah.
And where they're going to have a party with Here Today because they did a collab on the table beer that's on the table, Dream Warp. And apparently it's going to be a big industry night. So
Awesome.
if you're in Seattle on Friday night,
I think we
Swing
should
by.
go to Seattle on Friday night then.
Yeah, shit.
Sounds like a good time. So what's the background of Human People? They're
Just
new
gonna
to
say,
me.
yeah.
I don't.
Who are
they're
the
human
people? Who are
and
the people?
Isn't that kind of redundant?
Wow.
So they're from this planet.
yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and that beer is delicious. It's got a lot of a lot of citrus in it.
Indeed. Wow.
So the brewer background is these are former Modern Times folks.
Oh,
Oh,
Yes.
okay, right on.
that's what I wanted to know.
Yes,
Thank you.
former
That's
Modern
what I
Times
wanted
folks.
to know as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, so obviously that's a huge beer brewery to be coming from. It's a huge beer project to have on your resume. So this is a highly anticipated new beer thing happening in Seattle, which is awesome. And so far the beer
really
is phenomenal. But yes, their major critique so far is like, why that name? But they've addressed it. Like they just wanted something that was like basic, and they want to tailor to beer nerds and to everybody else. And I like that effort. I'm like a huge fan of that. And if they make beer that is good to everybody and not just the 10% of whatever hyper beer nerds we all are, then that's all the better. And then sure enough, they make a table beer. Which like, I feel like you need
Nerdy.
context. Yeah, exactly. It's the nerdiest type of beer.
Yeah.
With chamomile. This is a bedtime beer.
I'm
Phaedra, what do you have?
Occidental's Light Lager.
Nice. Chris is drinking Lorien pills too, I think. Yeah. Yeah, the Lucky Lorien pills. Yep. Yeah. Oh, man. All right. Ron.
So tell me about your first round of beef.
Oh, yeah. So the highlights were Phaedra didn't like that some barrel-aged beers. Some barrel-aged beers were in cans now versus bottles.
Well,
We
yeah, and I
discussed
said
that.
I didn't know that it was necessarily a beef per se. It's just a hard transition for me to make to get
Sure.
used
Turkey.
to.
$15 for 12 ounces,
Yeah.
typically.
Yeah.
That's coming
I
out.
mean, this is sorry, Doug. This is more than that, but
Wow.
Yeah,
but
there-
still, it's a
there are
lot.
12-ounce cans.
So this is
That are just-
that are super expensive.
It's different,
Yes.
right? It looks different and
The
it feels
experience.
different, and
Doesn't feel as fancy.
yeah. So like Bethany said, I think she said she goes, when you take it to the bottle share or whatever, and you crack open a can
Yeah.
instead of
It's not as cool.
Instead of cut
Yeah.
your hand on
Unless
the
you're
wax
angry.
stick.
Yeah, instead of slicing a tendon
Unless
on
you're
your thumb.
angry. Yeah,
Right, the
right.
deal with the devil, and you
Deal with the devil
put
is
the
that
wax on the can.
wax on the can
Yeah, on the bottom.
for $99,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, do you
Have
want
seen
some of that, Ron?
Bethany? Oh yeah.
I've got
Yeah,
plenty.
they put wax on the cans.
That's what I figured.
I'll tell Gabe.
That's right.
You'll probably knife me.
Should I do this now?
Yeah,
Sure.
let's.
Perfect warm-up.
What were the other first beer beefs?
I mean, you said dirty draft lights, which
Well, restaurant owners who don't want to clean them regularly or want them done like twice a year.
yeah.
No thanks.
I know a lot of ours were like our side of the industry specific. So mine was like I have a lot of breweries reach out to me and then they ask if we would sell their beer, and if I tell them no for like specific reasons, and then they ask what those reasons are, I'm usually very honest, and then they get mad, and it's like, well, you called me and you asked, and I don't want to waste your time or mine.
Yeah. We talked about the price a lot.
Do you want to
Yeah,
do
price
side
came
by
up a lot.
side or one after the other?
Let's go one after the other. Which
After
one's?
the- Okay.
Yeah, we're starting with bottle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Because I don't think I brought enough for
I was going to say you need more glasses.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've got a can
first.
and the bottle of the same beer, and we're gonna do a side by side here.
I don't
Well,
know.
one
Do you
after
wanna do
another.
side by
One
side?
after another.
Matt says one after the other.
So Ron doesn't have to get up and grab more glasses.
Yeah, thank you.
And then we went through some like internet beef. So like somebody said adding lactose to beer was like a huge beef, which I think is silly. Even somebody like Brian Strumke, who was like pretty categorically against a lot of the types of beers that use lactose, still endorses it as a product to balance out flavors, which I agree with. So that was silly. And then one of the ones that came up that I thought was funny was that people were upset that nobody was making good Russian Imperial Stouts anymore.
Yeah. You don't see them as much.
Well, yeah. I mean, you see Imperial Stouts, but nobody's calling them Russian anymore
Right.
because those guys are in trouble. So
Yeah. You still have North Coast Rasputin.
I know I feel like that gets grandfathered in.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. Although Bethany, didn't we do a blind
Yeah.
Russian River taste test?
I seem to remember something like
And
that.
what's the one from Idaho?
You put this on pancakes.
Russian River?
For sure.
The Russian Imperial Stout.
Yeah.
Grand Teton.
Yeah.
That's a
one.
great fucking
That
beer.
one
That
beats
one.
6 other ones.
Narwhal, or no, yeah.
Yeah. Narwhal, Rasputin. I can't
Rasputin
remember.
and-
the others.
Dude, Grand Teton is so we used to work with Grand Teton, and that beer that you're talking about was like $11.99 for a 6-pack. It was the cheapest Imperial Stout you could buy, and it was phenomenal.
Yeah. It sold really well here,
Yeah.
and then it disappeared.
We should do that
Yeah,
again.
sorry. To be fair, they went to somebody else, and then they disappeared.
Okay, this is can version.
What beer is this, Phaedra?
Heart-shaped box.
From
From
Oakshire?
Yeah.
It's fucking great.
Wow.
Yeah. It's
They just dropped another load of crazy stuff that I haven't even.
Can I have
priced
another
yet.
glass?
That's nuts.
And the can.
In the can?
Yeah.
Cocoa nibs, coffee, vanilla beans,
Because that's what
and
that's what you got right
Moving
there.
to the bottle
You know
here.
that, right?
Yeah, I know. Give him Chris one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Happy Valentine's Day, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheers.
I'm empty.
Cheers, my love.
I know it is very. It is very Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
I do love you
This is a
guys.
phenomenal beer.
Aww.
Makes me want to do heroin and shoot myself.
Jesus.
The beer or us?
Dark.
No, Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day? Which part?
I
Can you
did a
be
different
specific?
interpretation of the
Beer spotting.
I'm just,
Trains.
damn it.
heart-shaped box. Mm-hmm. All right.
Wow.
I promise we got it, Doug. Just,
Okay,
just
all
giving you
right.
shit.
All right.
I think that was the most of the beer beefs. Do you
It
have
was.
some, Ron?
Okay.
I know.
You got some?
I got some
You first, Ron.
one-way kegs.
Oh, damn it. Okay, we got to talk about this.
Plastic kegs?
Yep.
Yeah. Me too. That's on mine
Hate
too.
them, hate them.
I
Hard
can't
to
remember if I
tap.
talked about it.
Can puncture. Sometimes the tabs will break off.
Yeah, the little things
Yeah,
where
and
the
then
coupler
you're,
goes.
then you're screwed.
Oh my God, if you guys weren't cranking on the fucking couplers.
It's like,
I know how to use a coupler. Yeah, no, the plastic kegs are no bueno. Let's not reinvent the wheel here. Can we just use regular kegs?
There are so many reasons why plastic kegs are so much better for breweries in particular. Not that they're
Yes.
easier to use.
For some of the beer.
can you explain
Sometimes for some
why?
beer.
The reason
So
why?
there's a few reasons, but one of the main ones is like exporting beer.
Yeah.
Like exporting beer. The only way to export draft beer really effectively, unless you have like huge operations and logistics behind it, is to do one-way kegs, because you can't have keg deposits floating around across the world with money which is in limbo at that time. So you do one ways, you don't charge deposits, and then people can just recycle them afterwards.
I'll agree.
So like,
So how did it work before? So did people have to return them internationally, the cakes?
so like they're usually like the importer would be on the hook for them.
Okay.
But like and it would be for really large, Polliner kegs, right? Like that's obviously an import. You get kegs of that. But their importer is enormous and can float the money and like has the logistics and operations in place to like make stainless steel kegs make sense for that. But like if you're a small, say, Japanese craft brewer or Belgian craft brewer, you can't have like $6,000 in keg deposits tied up across the world. You need a certain amount of empties that you can actually ship back. You need to wrangle all those empties from the accounts to the distributor in each state and then back to the importer so you can ship them all back. It's a fucking nightmare.
Right.
So I've only seen like American plastic kegs. Are we getting some exported from overseas?
Yeah,
here?
12%.
Yeah, 12%. So yeah, 12% is another good example, and they do it for a similar reason. So 12% imports, who we work with, they're fantastic, and like us, they curate this insanely high quality, collection of breweries, mostly from the East Coast, but also around the world. But they work in like 30 states, and trying to like catalog keg deposits in 30 states from like 30 different breweries is impossible. So you put them in one ways, you don't have to worry about floating the money for the deposits, and then like that's it. People can just use them and then throw them away or recycle them. And then hopefully nobody breaks them, which is the issue.
I think there's a time and a place for them. Like that. But if there's not that scenario,
Why am I getting a
That's where the
keg from
beef
45
lies.
minutes away and it's in plastic?
Plastic.
They are annoying. Honestly, we don't like them a whole lot either. But like there is a necessity for them. We have to use them. That's why I'm defending them.
So in some cases, but not all cases. Or-
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I would
then
say that.
The fact that you have to depressurize and, it's a little work before you get rid of it.
Yeah, you do kind of have to babysit it.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you want to actually recycle it, you have to like drain all the excess air and CO2 out of it, and then you can crumple it up and throw it in your recycling bin, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But it's like, if you tips over and it breaks, then you're fucked.
But then like us who fill up a bin twice a week, if you add that to it, we don't have enough
that
room for the cardboard.
It's a recycling issue.
So they pick it up in curbside recycling? They'll take it?
Yeah.
Really?
It's like it's a giant 2-liter bottle.
Yeah.
No, I get that it's recyclable, but that here in Tacoma, they'll actually pick that up and take it. Legit.
Just put it in your blue bin.
You just cover it with cardboard and they won't know.
They'll take it to a landfill.
It all melts. Yeah, it all melts the same.
Which is also typical of Tacoma, unfortunately. But okay.
I know who got the email about no more glass.
No more glass.
You're like, that's a shitty email to get. And I'm like, I don't know. I go through a lot of glass recycling because I have a bunch of bougie fucking beer in my house that I try to get through constantly, and I'm like, I am really unmotivated to drink any of it right now because I don't want the glass to end up in a fucking landfill.
Take a trip to Hilltop.
Dude.
That's where the recycling unit is. I'm not.
Yeah, so there's one on 56th as well, and I will just go to that. But,
And the city picks ours up maybe every 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now they're just dumping it in landfill,
Yeah,
so it
right.
doesn't matter.
Yep.
It's
That's
a
like
whole
that's a crap
extra,
email
it's
to
an
get.
extra step.
Like,
Yeah.
Certainly there is something to be done here.
Yeah.
Makes me want to drink. But out of a can.
Stressful.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay, plastic kegs, one-way kegs, which is a fair critique. I don't want anybody to think that it's not. It is,
Oh, do you
but
need
there
the
is a time and
bottle?
No,
place.
I just want to hear the wax
Oh.
beef.
Well, how about when the delivery driver hits a roundabout at 50 miles an hour and punctures a can, and the can stickies the whole case, and I have a whole case of sticky cans. It just drives me insane.
That's fair.
Yeah, and it happens.
I have no argument
Does it
here.
really happen?
All the time.
Yeah, I'd say at least once every 2 weeks.
Really?
And I have to sit there and clean it all and get a new cardboard box for it.
What is puncturing the can precisely?
It'll tip over.
It'll jostle around and
Just hitting against anything? with
yeah.
it?
Well, so like when we, like with anything, you have stacked pallets and you still wrap them, but if you hit, like Ron said, if you hit a roundabout just fast enough or you catch a curb or something, your pallet's tipping over. Most people will ban them. Like when I'm doing it, I know that I will tip shit over because I'm not a great driver when I'm in a big truck. And so I like strap a pallet to the side of the packaging.
That's
the other
because you're
thing.
thoughtful.
I try to be.
You are.
But like I even have drivers who are like in a rush in the morning and like will tip something over. And it's really like when a case slides off the top of your pallet that's stacked 8 feet high.
Okay.
It'll land on the ground and a can will get punctured.
Okay.
Yeah, and then but they'll put it back
It's
together.
not
real
arriving
fast.
with your shipment of nails or anything. It's,
Did you ever get a can that was punctured in the middle of your case?
Oh, yeah.
That's the move. Oh, I didn't even notice that this was leaking. Let me just put it back in the middle of the case.
The whole case is just soggy and
And you like squeeze all of them, and there's like one right smack dab in the middle. He's like, "Oh, I didn't even see that. That's crazy."
I bet you did.
so you have to bathe your shipment when it arrives?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's got to go in the water.
And then my hands are sticky. So I just hate it. How about cans that don't slide down the shelf clips?
I feel you
Because
on
there's
that
all these
one.
wrapped cans, and it goes like 3 inches and it flops
Yeah.
over, or it goes 2 feet and flops over, and then I have to get on top of a keg
Are there
to reach it to stand
Particular
it back
cans
up.
that do that?
And then when I stand on the keg, I hit
hit-
my head on the sprinkler system
I've done that.
in the cooler, which is another beef. Why is there a sprinkler system in my cooler? I hate the whole thing.
You just hate coolers.
I mean, yeah.
Spontaneous beer combustion?
I guess
Is
I
that a
hate
thing?
stocking.
I was gonna say, yeah, you just don't like. You just
I
hate
feel
doing
all
inventory.
of that hard
I like
with all the
is what I hit
stocking
my head
I've
on.
done here
Yeah.
too.
Bethany's done her fair
Yeah,
share.
you gotta look up before you
Sprinklers,
stand on the
but then
keg.
the light.
Yeah.
I hit my head on the light.
I've hit
Yeah.
I've hit all of them. Everything in there.
and I'm not particularly tall. I'm sure it happens to you way more than
Yeah,
me.
one.
And the leaking can.
This is why I don't merch your guys' store. I just drop the cases off and leave.
And then how about the leaking can seal?
That sucks.
Yeah, it
like-
just
That sucks.
exactly
here?
right there.
Where? Oh, the side here.
yeah. The
seam.
Yeah,
And
which
there's
is
like one black bubble, and then it's like on a whole 6-pack, and then
That-
you wonder what it tastes like.
Yep. I've caught.
Is that a manufacturing error or a shipping error?
Yeah, it's a packaging error.
Packaging error.
Yep. Not super unusual. It does happen. And like if you have multiple filler heads, only one of them, or like, you can have it where like, 2/3 of your batch comes out fine, and then 1/3 has like a sealing issue. But the problem is like, figuring that out. And I've had it where like I've had breweries, we sit down almost every Friday and try all of our beers just for things like that. Like we want to make sure we're not sending stuff out that is like going to be a poor representation of the quality of the actual brewery. And so we'll pick out something, it'll be like way oxidized, even though it's canned just a few days ago. That's a clear like production issue, not a storage issue. So then we go, okay, cool, let's go like grab 5 random cans and then pop them all and see what's up. And 3 of them will be fine, and then 2 of them will be oxidized. And we're like, shit, okay. So then we call the brewery and we go, hey, you know, there's an issue here, like with either packaging or production or whatever. And it's good because they can catch it, but not every distributor does that. Not every brewery does that.
Yeah.
It's hard to catch anyway, unless you know. The only visual way is leaky cans, but you can have non-leaky cans that have bad seals that are oxidized when you get them. And then it's like, you're selling crummy beer, which sucks.
That's another beef.
Crummy beer.
I also have a
Yeah, that's a
beef
given.
against our weather because it rains most of the time here. And the delivery guys, they're just soaked, and all the beer's soaked, and the cardboard's soaked. So you always have to have extra cardboard on hand to
it sits out and gets wet.
Because then it's just a flimsy dog model. It's just-
Yeah,
Yeah.
What is it? What is it? For the camera, what is it?
Flimsy dog model. That's a Clibin.
Yeah, they use
You have to do this.
do the yeah.
Okay.
I don't like that.
You need to invent like a umbrella for the cases, like a little umbrella for all the cases, so they stay dry.
It's a good idea.
For half a second, I thought you were going like a different direction about how to stop the rain. And I was like, let's not do that right now. It's not the time.
No description of the beer anywhere in the universe.
That sucks.
Not on Untapped, not on the can, not on the website, not on their socials.
Yep.
It's the worst. And then, I do flights every day, and I try to describe the beer. And if there's no information, then I'm forced to crack it open.
God darn it.
8 in the morning.
Yeah. But 8 in the morning when he's trying to do all the things. Sitting
That's
and drinking a beer.
And then it does actually take like a little bit of mental stack to actually accurately describe a beer too. So that's fair.
Yeah,
if
just out of
And there's
on your
quite a
own.
few that just don't.
Yeah. I'm sure I'm the culprit of this the most. I work with really small breweries who make 16 kegs of one beer and then never make it again. And they're like, why am I going to put this on Untapped or on my social media? It's draft only.
Because that's how marketing works.
Yeah, you're correct.
That's why.
Trust me, I've told them.
That's exactly why.
I'm going to move a couple down to no tap handles.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's fair, I think.
No, it is not fair.
Oh, it's not?
Okay, my pet peeve is tap handles.
In general.
In general, I think tap handles are the bane of the contemporary beers.
So they should just be gone.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
I mean, that's
And
another take.
Yeah, dude.
What?
This is.
Please explain.
Yep, I will. Go ahead, Ron.
Back in the day, tap handles were extravagant.
Yeah.
They were statues. They were a work of art.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
walk in, I want that piece of art.
Right.
Didn't matter what the beer was.
Yeah. Not so much these days because of cost,
Yeah.
but I'm forced to try to figure out something to do to represent the beer if I don't have a tap handle. And there's quite a few breweries that I don't have tap handles for.
Right.
Correct.
So, it's just a beef.
So they're
Sure.
expensive. They're really expensive to
Yeah.
make, and then
Yeah.
they get lost. They get out to the places, and then they never come
Yeah.
back.
And
you have to
then
order
the
more.
reps come in and say, I need a tap handle. And I never see it again.
But your beef is it ain't like it was, and your beef is
My beef is that it should be even less like it was.
My beef is I don't have one for
Okay.
the
Yeah.
tap
For a
keg.
particular beer.
And my
So you
beef.
want your log to look.
My beef is
Yeah.
Ron's beef. My beef is
Okay.
and here Ron and I have a professional relationship, so we're gonna debate about this.
I'm fascinated.
However, so here's where mine comes from. So, and I've been a buyer and I've needed tap handles, and even looking back on my behavior around tap handles, I'm like, ooh, I was being kind of a dick.
Behavior.
Yeah,
It's like a beer name. Behavior around tap handles.
dude.
Tap handle
Like,
behavior.
yeah. Okay, so here's why I think they shouldn't exist. Here's why I think they shouldn't exist. Most people, Ron included, has a big Untapped board that shows all of the details of the beer right behind it. So,
Yeah, I'll cover this.
okay, all right. Yeah. Let me cook for just a second.
This is a heavyweight bout.
Let me cook for just a
Ron.
second.
Thank you.
I'm here for this.
Ron's like, I got this. Okay, you have a big thing behind you, either a chalkboard or an untapped list that shows you what the beers are. And then, like, Ron's argument on this side to me is more valid because his bar is full all the fucking time. But most of the places that really require tap handles, that are really sticklers about it, don't have anybody sitting at a bar looking at the handles. Tap handles were marketing resources before there was big chalkboards and screens that talked about the beers. And Ron was right. They were big and extravagant, and that's how people chose beer if they didn't know what they wanted.
Red Hook must have spent millions.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Somewhere iconic.
Yeah, if you're a fucking coffee shop that has like a six-handle thing and nobody's sitting at the bar staring at them, I don't care if you need tap handles. Like, you have a chalkboard right behind it. Just tell people to read the chalkboard. Okay, go ahead.
Friday night,
I want to ring.
packed. The bartenders are trying to figure out the beer. They don't want to look up on the screen. They want to look at the tap handle. It's much faster.
Okay, that is fair. And so here's where I think like tap handles should be a thing, but branded tap handles should not be a thing. I think like just about every place that serves craft beer and rotates it regularly should have reusable generic tap handles that they can put stickers on or write on or something like that for that specific reason, which you guys do. For all the places that don't bring you stuff.
Which is a lot.
Right, which is a lot.
Which is why it's a beef.
So here's...
Which is why we're here.
This is just stuff that Ron's been waiting to tell me for so long.
And he's doing it here.
Matt's fucking drivers tip over kegs all the time. Matt sells the most plastic kegs of anybody in Washington. Matt's fucking drivers put all the punctured cans in between the cases. Matt never gives me tap handles for anything and never brings them back when I ask for them.
This is not how I wanted this to go.
No, it's fine. I'm here. We're here, Ron.
So then the little black ones is what you prefer.
The little black ones, like I have personally purchased those. I have probably bought
really
120 of them for accounts and given them to them so that they will leave me the fuck alone about tap handles.
But those
They're like, thanks.
tap handles, those are pretty freaking boring. I mean,
That's fine.
but I mean,
May I please have an old schoolhouse tap handle?
Maybe I'll see what I can do. Okay, so here's the other beef. Here's the other beef.
Okay.
Go ahead. All right.
That's on point.
Okay, just a second. So
Hold on.
the other side of this too is that tap handles are fucking expensive, which you did mention.
Yes.
Sometimes $50 or more to get them made, which sucks. That sucks.
Yeah.
And it is. I actually think that's a bad brewery decision. If I owned a brewery, I would not fucking spend that much money.
And it's the brewery's property, not the bottle shop.
No. Okay, so here, this is the other beef. So that is a really common misconception. Sometimes they're the brewery's property, but sometimes we are forced to pay for them as a distributor.
as a distributor.
As a
the
distributor.
distributor might
Which,
own it.
That I did not know.
yes.
But
so
the bottle shop doesn't own it.
the bottle shop does not own
For
it. That's super common.
Or the bar.
The bar doesn't own it.
Yeah.
It is on loan. And like, it is on loan.
is completely
Straight up.
ignored.
And you put it on your ceiling.
Which is completely ignored.
Sure, go ahead and grab it.
Yeah. You want your tap handle?
Yeah, exactly. That's the for anybody who
bring a
doesn't know.
ladder?
For anybody who doesn't know, if you go on the Parkway and you ask them to get your tap handle back, they tell you to go grab it yourself, and they're hanging 20 feet up on the fucking ceiling. So you just don't get them back.
Couldn't get it for sure.
Yeah. I've like gone in and like I have like an event, like a level beer event, and there's 3 of them on the fucking Parkway beams.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, can I just get one? And they're like, yeah, for sure. Do you have a ladder? Like, God damn it. It's fine because I love them and they can do whatever they want. But fuck. Okay, so yeah, we have to buy probably like half of the tap handles that we have. Sometimes breweries will give them to us, but that doesn't make financial sense for them either because they spent a bunch of money getting them made, and we are the ones who are using them. Here's where it sucks. And this is like how the sausage is made type of stuff. So let's say we buy 100 tap handles from breweries for $50 each. That's pretty normal. That's $5,000.
Yeah.
We are super tiny and don't fucking have that. You can probably call out any distributor of our size or smaller does not have that for tap handles. But if we buy 100 and then that's all we buy for 2 years, let's say, and we shuffle them around the market as much as we possibly can, fulfilling all the demand for that, and then that brewery decides that they want to go to a different distributor, those fucking tap handles don't belong to us in that sense. They still belong to the brewery. So we can't go and like collect all the tap handles that we spent $5,000 on and then like try to sell them to the new distributor.
Because they're already in the market.
Yeah,
right?
and it's like
so,
weird to negotiate like
Yeah.
an additional buyout cost of, hey, these assets are already in the market and belong to you guys. If you can track them down, they're yours. So that's like weird, right? Because we can't make the money back on that.
Yeah.
So that sucks too, is like when we have bought tap handles from a brewery and then we no longer work at that brewery anymore, we're just out whatever money that was. And sometimes it is in the thousands. It sucks.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a thing.
Yep.
Ron's old like me. I'm still on his side.
That's fair.
It's time for a break, you know?
It is time for a break.
Yeah.
But this is fun.
Tap handles are cool.
Okay, we're going to refill beers real quick. We'll be right back. Stick around.
Right.
Hello, Channel 253 listeners. This is Citizen Tacoma host Eric Hanberg,
And sound producer Doug Mackey.
and this is election season 2024. And if you're like me and sound producer Doug, you are watching those polls. Sometimes good days, sometimes bad days, especially those swing states, the national stuff, North Carolina, Michigan, Arizona. There's a lot of things that we're watching that aren't Tacoma. And this is just a gentle reminder that there is this podcast network about Tacoma and things that are interesting to Tacomans, and that is Channel 253.
And as we move toward the election, Eric Hamburg will be back hosting Citizen Tacoma podcast.
We have Nate Bowling at Nerd Farmer.
Evelyn and Joe will be with us again.
There's always the white ladies to break it down.
And the sisters to make us open up.
So when maybe the national news is just a little too much, please consider turning to Channel 253 for your local content. And don't forget that, we are listener-supported, member-supported, $4 a month, $40 a year. Your support can really mean a world of difference to us right now. And that is at channel253.com/membership.
And thank you for your ongoing support.
Absolutely.
Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for hanging out during the break. As always, a shout out to Doug, our wonderful producer. Thanks, Doug. We love you.
Y'all's.
And Chris for doing video.
Yes.
Capturing.
He's back. I'm going to bring a mirror.
I know. we'll have the audience shot soon, the wide shot. All right, we have new beer in front of us. What's this light beer you're passing around right here, Ron?
It's called a table beer
Ooh.
Correct.
from Human People.
And
Dream Warp.
here today, right?
Citrus and
And here today,
chamomile.
it's a collab. Yep, exactly.
That's
Chamomile, lemon zest, I think's in there also.
It's delicious.
Refreshing.
It's amazing.
Bethany said chamomile.
You can really
I say chamomile
smell
too.
chamomile. I can smell that. I can smell it.
All right.
I
Did I
think.
say
I thought, you did.
No.
I thought you did.
That's extra special. That's very good.
This is delicious.
Yeah, it is.
Love it. Again, Friday,
It's unique.
here today in Tacoma, in Seattle.
In Seattle?
Yep.
There's the release party.
At what time?
Let's just say 5. I really don't know.
Field trip? Is there a grit and grain field trip on Friday? maybe?
Possibly. I am very tired.
Yeah, we'll see. Ron's like, I've been on too many field trips. Do you guys? This isn't really a fuck up, but it kind of is. So like, I'm in the business of like trying to figure out what is happening in the beer world and what's going to happen in the beer world in like the next few years or a few months or whatever. And like, we're a small distributor, so we try to pivot based on like those decisions. So it's like a form of like weird market speculation. And as things got really tight, especially like post-pandemic, one of the things that I thought was probably going to happen more often, it was like this kind of 2-part prediction, is like as beer trends are changing. No, it's fine. So it was like this 2-part prediction where like as beer trends change, one of the like all throughout history, styles are cultivated based on like all sorts of things, and cost is one of them. Like if the beer is really expensive to produce and cost becomes a barrier for people who are buying beer, which definitely happened during the pandemic, people are going to find a way to make cheaper to make beers more popular. So like in my head, really light, super like hop forward pale ales was going to be part of it. And that kind of happened to a degree. And then I was like, table beers are totally going to make like a huge comeback. Like it's going to be a huge resurgence of table beers.
Yeah.
And then like for, I don't know, 4 months of me bloviating about that shit, I had like 5 breweries in our book who were like, yeah, actually we're doing like this Partaguile. It's kind of a table beer. Like, if you guys want some? And I was like, it's happening. I was right. And then I was really wrong. And this is like the first table beer I've seen in like 18 months of not talking about that anymore. So glad to see one, and it's really good, and maybe I'll be right soon, but it hasn't happened yet.
This is a summer evening beer, I would say. This would be
Totally.
Sure.
just a summer evening.
Yeah.
It's really something. It's unique.
What was the first brewery in the last year to make like a table beer? I mean, not the first, but you know what I mean, like to make it like a popular thing.
Dwinell does it all the time. That's like part of their book, though.
Yeah. Here Today does a few of them.
I just saw Tanium Creek here. They do a couple of good ones, actually.
They do too.
Yeah.
Cool.
Gabe's awesome,
like
makes
them.
awesome beer.
I'm here for them.
Me too, man.
I'm here today for them.
You have no beef.
I do. Can I go?
Yes,
My
please.
beer beef.
Please.
Wait, what are you drinking? You got a new beer.
Oh yeah, the Single Hill Energy Cone.
Yeah.
I haven't even
Feel the
tasted it
energy.
yet.
We do have barley wine before your beef.
Yeah.
Cheers to Sean.
Yeah.
Cheers to Sean.
Cheers to Sean.
Cheers.
This is from Ferment.
It's a French oak barrel aged barley wine. Fucking so good.
I'm gonna cozy up to it again.
It tastes like fig jam.
Man, it
tastes like
does.
fig jam.
It does.
Yep.
Right?
Nailed that.
You got that? Yeah, dude. Just. See, I get some stuff right.
Yes. So
Okay, Bethany, beer beef.
No dates on packaged products
Okay,
when you're buying it at the store or whatever.
that came up a ton on the internet as
Did
well.
we already talk about it last?
No, we didn't. But that was like
okay.
one of the ones that came up multiple times.
Perfect.
Like no dates.
I'm gonna join that.
It's the first thing I do. I stand at the cooler and I look.
Yeah.
I'm one of those weird people, and they're like, "Can I help you find something?" Nope. I know what I'm looking for.
I know more than you.
Okay, so when you say
I
date,
do
what do
it
you mean by the date? The
when it's
date that
packaged
when
on.
it's when you want the
Yeah, if I'm
package
going to
on
use
the date.
Specifically packaged on.
Okay,
or
that's
whatever.
what because we talked about we had
Yes.
a little situation this last weekend.
Yeah, I want
Specifically
packaged on,
packaged
not
on.
Best Buy.
Not
I
Best
want
Buy.
packaged
Okay.
on.
So that's really common too. And actually that came up a couple was like what's almost worse than having no date is having a Best Buy date because that is, that's like,
It can be anything.
it can be anything.
What determines that?
The Best Buy? The brewery.
Really?
Yeah, there's no, so there are,
FDA thing or
nope. No, just like there's no standards for clean lines, there are no standards for, I know. There's no standards for,
Yes.
there's no standards for like, 'cause it's not about beer safety, it's about beer quality. And so, but the thing is, packaging dates on food is also a quality thing and not a safety thing. That's like a really common misconception is like, if it's past its expiration date, it means it's not safe anymore. But it most often is. It's usually, this is past the prime of quality or whatever. That's what food expiration date is for.
Right.
And that's what it is for beer too, but there's no regulation on that. So if I make an IPA and I want to make sure that people are buying it 6 months from now, I can put a Best Buy date for 6 months from now, even though that beer was past its prime 60 days after I canned it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you
That
do,
seems just wrong.
Correct.
well,
Well,
but
it
then
seems-
you run the risk
wrong.
if you do it too short, then you might have to take your beer off shelves. So if you have, right? Like,
Correct.
So,
Well,
yeah.
which is what happened to me this weekend when I was at the Greek Festival. I wanted my fix
Yeah,
Greek
you're
beer.
you're Hellas.
And I was there on Friday and drank a bunch of them, and
Yeah.
then came back on Sunday, and he's like, "Well, we're not selling the fix anymore because we noticed that the Best Buy date was back in June."
So
And I said, "I don't care. It's fine.
It's still
I'll
fine."
drink it." And he's like, because he said, "We have it. We just pulled it."
Yep.
And I said, "I'll take
I'll
it."
take 50% off.
For
thanks.
free? That's right.
So here, this is why like regulation on this would be good. It would be tough to do, but it would be
Right.
good. So what Phaedra's talking about is Tacoma's very famous and very long-standing Greek
Which is
Festival, which is a fucking amazing. If you've never been, you
It's
should
the best
absolutely
party
go.
in Tacoma,
It's
hands down.
so good.
Hands down.
And they serve Greek beer. They
Yeah.
have a Greek, Greek Fix is like a classic Greek, like
Lager.
basically German style Helles. It's their version of it.
it's
It's fantastic. Could crush 20 of them. It's
great.
like so good.
Yeah.
And that beer stays good for a long time. But imports and exports have different labeling laws, and you do have to have dates on those. But again, it's not food safety dates or anything. It's just quality. So the beer probably was best by whatever in June, but it's
Sure.
still drinking fine now. It's not going to fucking hurt anybody.
Yeah.
And so that's a bummer. But what happened is somebody saw that and were like, "Oh my god, you guys are serving expired beer. What if someone gets sick?" So just like it's like a
and
normal
to be
misconception.
fair, they were like, just to let you know, this is the situation. I'm like, I'm fine.
That's
I'll
super
take
cool
it.
that they
I'm good."
communicated that.
They
I
totally
love
did.
that. That's awesome.
Yeah, they pulled it all. They had it in the back, and then he's like, but we still have it.
And you're like, no. I want my fucking, I want my fix.
Bring it. And then the lady next to me, because it came out in a 4-pack, and I'm like, yeah, I'll take one. And then she's like, I'll take the other 3. I mean, so I was not the only one.
Wouldn't that have been crazy if they brought out the Elysian fix?
Oh, fuck. That's such a different beer. It's insane. 11% espresso stout.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. So anyway, that was
Beer dates in general are like a beer beef. Like when they're on the cans, sometimes they're wrong. When they're not on the cans, that fucking sucks. And then when they are on things like imports that stay good for a long time and people think they're not good anymore, that's a bummer too.
So do you think that it should be regulated, that it should be required to have a packaging date?
I think a packaging date is like the most across the board effective way to give the most valuable information to people who give a shit about it. It should just be straight
It's
up.
also not subjective in any way.
Right. There's nothing arbitrary about
Yeah.
it.
Right.
Whatever. It's just,
It's a
it
nice
is. This is when
gesture.
it
Let's
happened.
all raise our
spoken.
glasses to the fact that Stone discontinued Enjoy By. I am now stress-free.
Enjoy.
They officially discontinued it.
Enjoy.
Dude, I was talking to because Enjoy By is like
It's very
Explain
subjective.
what you mean.
Okay.
So Enjoy By.
Explain Enjoy By.
It's quarterly. It's New Year's Eve. It's Halloween. It's 420. And what's the other one?
there's a couple.
Yeah.
There's a couple others. Something like that.
End of January, something like
Yeah.
that. Well, yeah, exactly.
4th of July.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And so it just sits there, and I just look at the date every day. God damn it.
With your furrowed brow.
Yeah.
How come nobody's buying this fucking beer?
Yeah. Definitely the Halloween one sells the best.
Sure.
Although the dang 421 is pretty good.
Yeah. 420 and Halloween, I thought were like pretty, so Enjoy By, I feel like everybody knows, but like was a common thing. It was like a really common, popular beer nerd thing. Like 10 years ago, Stone put out a beer and basically said, if you don't have it by this date, and it was like their whole branding was like, if you don't drink it by this date, it's not good anymore, kind of.
Well, and
or
it's brilliant marketing.
for sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
stressful.
Yeah.
Well, no, for you, but
I was buying fucking 5K stacks of that
that's what I'm
shit.
saying. Again, brilliant marketing.
Every motherfucker that walked into my store with a beard on, I was like, hey, dude, have you seen this? This is crazy. Please buy 6 of them.
Stressful for the brewery too. So once that date passes, then what?
Yeah, you're
Then-
fucked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
then the brewery's got to buy it back, right? Like,
No.
No.
I mean,
They can
don't.
choose to.
I know
They
they
can
don't.
choose to.
Never happens.
But
Yeah, they can choose to. Yeah.
It's not. It's gonna sit there.
Do you know? So this is a funny Washington, not funny, but like this is a Washington state law that gets broken constantly. It's illegal to return non-defective controlled substances past 8 days of delivery.
I didn't know that.
So if you,
I knew.
yeah, Ron, yeah, I'm sure.
I've tried.
Yeah, exactly. Ron's probably called fucking 20 times. Hey, this beer has been sitting here for so long, and I brought it in as a favor to you. What can you do about this?
No, I've never done.
I'm sure.
Illegal. That's,
It's illegal
wow.
to return non-defective controlled substances after 8 business days of delivery. So that means if you buy something and it does go out of code, it is illegal for the distributor to pick it up and credit it on an invoice. There's plenty of creative ways that distributors tell their reps to take care of the account because it's kind of a dumb law. There should be some kind of leeway there, and it doesn't actually apply to everything in the same way. The laws on beer are totally different than laws on wine and things like that and spirits. So it doesn't apply to everybody or to every product the same way. But in general, if you have beer that goes bad and then you pull a bunch of beer off the shelf and you're like, hey, I have $120 of beer here that I can't sell because my customers won't buy it because it's out of date. What are you going to do? Like, you got to find other ways of helping out the account.
It's complicated.
It sucks. It is complicated, but that's like another thing about like, if there wasn't expiration dates, if there was just packaged on dates, the people who actually cared would know.
Right. So, what did people think between the can and the bottle? Anything?
Nothing.
I honestly did not find a discernible difference.
I didn't either. Although I will say that I like the bottle better, but I think it's because it's just been a year.
Maybe that's the bottle's a little bit older.
Honestly, just put it right there. Thanks, hon. I just think that, that's what I chalk it up to, really.
And the bottle's more fun to pour.
No, really.
Who did you just call hun?
Oh, my boy, Carson.
Okay.
Delivering
My boy.
Go ahead and eat it.
my gorgonzola dip because I forgot lunch today.
Go ahead and nibble it.
But yeah, no, I think it's just because it's been a year and it just isn't as it's had time to kind of settle and, and mellow out or whatever. So
phenomenal beer regardless. Honestly,
I don't think the can versus the bottle is really. I don't think it really affects the flavor per se. I just think it's like I said, it's just a perception.
Yeah. So I had somebody. I was working with a buyer in training, at one of my accounts, and this woman who's super cool and is like ready to learn and is all good, but was like very clearly disconnected from contemporary craft beer culture and knowledge and things like that. And she was still very convinced that cans were worse for beer than bottles. And she was like, it was still very much like, man, I was like, because I was talking about like how this comes in cans, and she was like, gosh, like there's so many cans, I don't know what's going on. And I was like, well, they're much better for beer, and it's cheaper, and it's easier to recycle, and especially if you're in Tacoma. And she was like, I just thought that cans were way worse for beer than bottles were, and that's like a funny. It's not like beef, but it's like a funny beer myth that is still going on.
Right.
I'm sure there's more out there.
I think there was a time when cans were,
totally.
The technology
is different. They're lined now. They're sealed differently now. They're sealed better than most bottles are sealed, unless you maybe wax dip. So it is different. It did change.
Right.
And it was with the sort of advent of like popularity of cans in the craft beer world that those technologies started to be developed. We actually have people like Seven Seas to thank for that, honestly.
Yeah.
But even breweries like Yoho in Japan. This is actually a funny non-American example. Yoho has been putting their beer into cans for like 25 years.
Wow.
They canned
Yoho.
first. Yeah. They were like, early on, they were like, there's no way that bottles are going to make sense in like the next decade.
Yeah.
They have never put their beer in bottles. Pretty much it's always been cans.
Yeah.
But yeah, technology, as it gets more popular, technology gets better. But you still have these perceptions in the market where like, I'm not buying a beer in cans because it's worse for the beer. And you're like, oh my God, you're missing out on so much.
Right.
Because the only beers that are still in bottles are just rough.
Speaking of cans,
He's got more beef.
here's a beef.
Sweet.
Unmarked can samples.
Oh.
They go into the
so
sample bin,
legitimate.
and I
That
have
is
no
so
idea what the hell it is.
legitimate.
Yeah. You should bring a bunch of those down for an episode. We'll just fucking
just
mystery
crack 'em
taste
open.
them. Yeah.
Love that idea.
That's it.
Mystery.
Not even the
mystery
courtesy of
sample.
a sticker.
Nothing.
Nothing.
That's crazy.
Just relying on me. And I
Silver
try
can.
to write it down, tape it to it. But
I actually
doesn't
have
always
one in my refrigerator. It's been there for about a year and a half because I don't trust it.
Bring it.
Bring it.
Okay.
Bring it for
All
mystery
right.
sample day. I'm sure I've got a couple too. People mail us beer all the time, and they'll give me a one-sheeter, but then I'll have gray cans otherwise, and I won't fucking know. Like,
No clue.
yeah. That's a good one. Come on, sales reps.
You can do
Let's
the
pick it up.
wax.
I know. There's
How about changing recipes?
I mean,
Fat tire.
Oh.
So, everybody's going to JBF.
Go for it.
Yeah, and they're they're once a year where they're going to taste fat tire because it's
It's such a bummer to say.
I know it's a bummer to say. And then suddenly it's a goddamn golden ale.
That's
Wait, what?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They show up and they're all excited.
They changed fat tire to a golden ale?
They did.
When?
A couple of years ago, I think.
Yeah,
What?
Totally missed
but a
that.
lot of
Where have I
people
been?
did not know, and a lot of people
missed
bought
that.
I
it.
never drank it before that, so.
I missed that.
Oh, shit, Doug.
No, I never liked it. I just don't
That's
know.
fair enough.
Yeah, I don't know why they changed it.
To a
So-
golden
It
ale.
does seem weird, like just market a new beer. Like why?
Yeah, why not just do
right.
a new? Yeah.
Nobody's buying Ambers anymore.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Can you
So
imagine
come out
if
with their
African
golden ale
amber-
and different.
Was it stout?
Is that true? Nobody's buying Ambers anymore, really?
No, I mean, like, people still do. I don't buy a ton. Like, when I say buy, when I buy them, I mean, I don't buy them from suppliers as often. I have 50 breweries, and 35 of them locally, and I maybe get like 6 or 7 that offer me ambers pretty regularly, and I don't buy a ton from them just because we don't sell a ton. So New Belgium is owned by Sapporo now, not New Belgium anymore. They were employee owned for a long time.
They were, yeah.
and
That was the
they're
thing
not
that was
anymore.
really cool about them. Yeah.
There's 1,000 bikes there.
Yeah,
Prove it.
right.
But that's all good. I don't know the terms of that whole thing, but I imagine if you have employee ownership and then you get bought by somebody as large as Sapporo, all those employees probably came out on top.
Yeah.
In a great way. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
It's what
for
you
sure.
want for your, you know what I mean? Like if you're going to do that, it's what you want for your employees. Yeah. But this is kind of what happens when you're not really in control of that kind of stuff anymore. It's possible that somebody who was making decisions was like, nah, here's the IRI data that shows that golden ales are selling 6% better nationwide than amber ales. So your most popular brand that built your brewery is now a golden ale instead of an ale.
I think
That's
that's
like-
really weird.
I know that's what happens.
They
Not
should
saying that's what
have
It's like turning a Camry into a pickup truck.
That's actually a good example. This just feels
that's
fucking
so
weird.
accurate.
Yeah.
It is so
It just
accurate.
feels weird.
Doing.
No, I think Bethany's right. They should just, launch a golden ale and
Right.
market the hell out of
Especially
it and
because
do
people like new beer. All the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
It's
But
a-
I mean, Fat Tire has
So
been
here's
Fat Tire forever.
here's like a good question. This is like a question that like I talk about if I'm doing strategy stuff with like my leadership team. If we're trying to pivot, is which will cost you less money, completely rebranding or completely trying to like build from scratch a new brand that is as popular as something like Fat Tire, but in a style that is maybe more in demand than Fat Tire is nationwide, or changing Fat Tire into that style without telling anybody and then just seeing if people are disappointed or seeing if they'll just buy it again because they like the beer anyway. So the question is whether or not it's the beer that they're loyal to or the brand that they're loyal to. That's like the crux of that question.
I think New Belgium has got such a name that if I were the decision maker, it would be to do what Bethany said.
Right.
Just launch a golden ale under New Belgium, whatever you're going to call it or whatever.
Yeah,
because
Skinny
Fat
Tire.
Tire's still
Skinny Tire.
Yes. Yes.
It's a new low-cal blonde ale.
and do that. Because New Belgium is not, they still have a great name in the industry. And so I think
Maybe they do, but does Fat Tire? Ron just made this funny joke about how the only time you drink Fat Tire is when you go to GABF.
Yeah.
Like, it's a
That's what
silly
they
joke.
They look forward to it.
Yeah. I'm going to the motherland to drink Fat Tire.
Fat Tire's
I'm,
kind of it's kind of disappeared a little bit or whatever. It's not as prevalent as it used to be or whatever, but it still has a name. It has
Totally.
nostalgia and
So you're saying
whatever.
that New Belgium fucked up?
All right, Grit and Grainers. I'm Sean Jackson, and I fuck up all the God-blessed time, as we all do. So, please do regale us with your fuck-up stories.
Hey, speaking of which,
Already.
Anyway, I just
Oh, yeah.
wow. I think
Ron has
weird.
so many more.
know, we got
He's got
beef.
so
I know,
much more
Ron's
beef.
got a laundry.
Beef's 3.
Yeah, Beer Beef 3 is coming up next month. Stay tuned.
We had a whole other conversation we were going to have, and we didn't do that. All right.
It's great.
Well, no, I'll bring up. I'll still reply to my
Okay.
thing because apparently it was a fuck up. So I just want to
Okay.
reply. What was yours, Bethany?
I lost one of my kids today.
The fuck?
Hey, it happens to everybody.
We went to the
Don't worry
pumpkin
about
patch.
it.
We
It's
went to
okay.
the pumpkin patch, and there's a lot of people there. It was a very busy pumpkin patch. I took my eyes off him for like a minute, not even a minute, and he was found. It felt like an hour, but it was probably
He
like
was found?
7
He was
minutes.
found. He's
And
fine.
yeah, with a staff member, he was just chilling. She was holding him, just like no big deal. And he kind of looks at me, and she looks at me, and I'm sobbing, and it was awful, but he was fine. Yeah, so it never happened. This is my second kid, and it never happened with the first. Like,
It didn't wander into
happens,
it.
she didn't
though.
wander off.
I think
He
it happens.
wanders.
I was
He was at the playground, and then he went to the petting zoo. We went back to the petting
the
zoo.
corn maze. Yeah.
No, it wasn't a maze.
When they're mobile, they move, and sometimes quicker than.
They're mobile.
He
That's
went.
true.
I always
He went.
break my kids' legs. I take him anyway.
Slingshots.
I like how Bethany was teeing
Find
us
their
up to
feet.
gaslight us if we fucking call her out on any of this. Like, You were just so ready. I've only lost him for like a minute, and like it was busy there, so it was like we're not even a fucking, you guys are weird for thinking I'm weird.
I'm with Bethany. It happens. It happened to Carson, who just we misplaced Carson.
I was gonna ask when you lost your kid, because you're the only one being real sympathetic right now, Paige.
Hard to misplace Carson now.
Now would be difficult, but no, we misplaced him out in front of what's the place? Rainforest Cafe at South Center. Yeah, well, we can debate exactly what happened, but yeah, we got separated.
We got separated.
Yeah, we got separated.
Just read the
For how many minutes?
Read the police report.
It feels like hours.
Yeah, it was probably like, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes.
They just
Not
spent
long.
20 years softening the language of that story. He was misplaced. We got separated.
Yes.
He got distracted.
My story.
No one really is to blame here.
Not a very busy parking lot.
That's what I said. Read the police report.
Yeah. There's no highway right next to it.
It's fine.
He was found.
In the
The most
median.
important part. Yes.
I think I forgot about Sienna once too. It's it happens. It's fine. They're lovely adults. They
Totally don't remember this.
Yeah.
Oh no, they remember. And they remind me of it from time to time. It's fine. Again, well-adjusted adults, successful in doing whatever they're doing. So,
Sure.
It's just a rite of passage.
Independent. They're
Totally.
independent.
Yeah.
All right. Grit and Grainers, email us at cheersagritandgrainpodcast.com with your comments, opinions, and thoughts on Stone Brewing eliminating their Enjoy By series, which no doubt caused bottle shop owners to lick the fingertips of the divine. We read and drink everything we receive, and we try to respond as fast as we can, if not online, then on air. You can subscribe to Grit and Grain on YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify, Google Play, iHeartRadio, and Stitcher, and please leave us a review. Also, check us out on Channel 253 and the gritandgrainpodcast.com. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram for episode notes, beer news, and history, such as Saturday marks the 214th anniversary of the inaugural Oktoberfest in Munich in honor of Prince Ludwig's marriage to Princess Therese, where the festivities lasted a week and ended with a horse race. As such, a spectacular party, the happy couple decided that the same type of festival should be continued annually, which would eventually move to September. Oh, yes. Oktoberfest Beer and Blood on Netflix revealed so many repressed, buried, burned, crushed, or otherwise flayed secrets of the true nature of the Oktoberfest history, with rather intoxicating revelations and liberal realities, the kind that rattle the worlds and question the core beliefs and make up your id sit up and go, maybe this means something slightly more than, potent and wicked and dangerous in a good way. If this podcast is not what you expected, please alter expectations. If you face south and throw a Cali-inspired red destruction light towards the Oregon developers gobbling up the farmlands while chanting the Kalapuya tribe curse as Oregon's Cheers to the Land campaign launches October 12th, condemning mega dairies and other developers below the Oregon coast mountain range to eternal damnation while promoting Oregon local grown ingredients such in Oregon beer. If you do nothing, then the Grit and Grain will let you hang with us. No such thing as a bad time to deliver. No such bad time to visit Tacoma. No such thing as too much barley wine. There is such a thing. Tune in next Friday for more sweet chatter. Cheers.
Cheers. Thanks again for tuning in. Don't forget to follow us at Grit and Grain Podcast wherever you get your social media and catch new episodes every Friday. Cheers.
Channel 253 is member supported. I'm producer Doug Mackey, and I hope you will show your support by going to channel253.com/membership and join. Thank you. Grit and Grain is part of the Channel 253 podcast network. Check out our other shows: Nerd Farmer, Interchangeable White Ladies, Move to Tacoma, Crossing Division, Citizen Tacoma, What Say You, We Are Tacoma, Flounders B Team, and Taco Man.
This is Channel 253.